Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I am Ken Walls and I'm your host. And today I have a very self-made guy on the show that you're going to love this dude's story. Daryl Wizinsky is with me coming in from Orange County, California. So stay with us. And we are back. Let me bring Daryl on. Daryl, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ken. Thanks.
Man, it's great to have you here, dude. You know, it's funny. I just got notified that I'm live on LinkedIn. Like, what? I know I am. Leave me alone. Anyway, so Daryl, you are you're engaged to Tammy Ann, who's been on the show a long time ago. She was on the show. And that's how we kind of connected and met. And dude, I'm excited to hear your story because I know you're a very self-made guy from the streets of Detroit.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to hear your story. I know you've done extremely well in life, and I'm excited to hear this. So let's start with where you were born and raised.
I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. My parents are from Russia, and so we were raised in a small city outside of Detroit, but we actually ended up moving to Detroit, right outside of Detroit, called Taylor. I was born there, and my father worked in a steel plant, and my mother was a regular housewife who took care of us on a daily basis. Wow. Yeah.
Wow. So you went to school, like high school and all that in Detroit, or?
Yeah, it's a crazy story. Is I'm from an abusive family, or from my father was. My mother, back then in the 80s, there was no domestic violence stuff. So it was just, you could do what you wanted to a woman. It was horrible. And my father was very bad. He was an alcoholic. And my mother finally said enough was enough. And we moved from the suburbs, and my mother filed for divorce, and we moved to Detroit. And then I went to school there, and it was rough. It was definitely a huge culture shock at 10 years old. It was really rough for us. It was different. Like, I remember the first week I was there, I was in a fight, and I didn't even know how to fight. I didn't even no clue how to fight. I didn't even know how to do anything. I was just holding on to this guy for dear life so he couldn't hit me.
Wow.
It was crazy. Just huge culture shock. And we went from having dinner on the table and not worrying about anything to getting welfare and going to the church to get food. It was just crazy. It was just, I never imagined anything like that as a kid. You just don't know what to do, and you don't understand life,
So this started at 10 years old, and from there, did it continue throughout the rest of your childhood years, or did things get better?
Man, my mom had multiple sclerosis.
Oh, wow.
My father got hurt. Not my father, my stepdad. When my mother, this great man stepped into our life and took care of us. And he got hurt at work. So at 40, fell through a mezzanine. So basically, he was disabled for life, and my mom was disabled. And they're great parents. My brother became a problem child, addicted to drugs and things, and it was just hard. I genuinely don't know what a normal family looks like from the standpoint of a childhood. And so then I turned to being a gang member. It was hard enough in Detroit because you couldn't even walk to the store. You walk to the store, people would say, what gang are you in? Or, slang terms. And if you didn't say something, you would get beat up, or
Wow.
and because they would just think that you were scared and you couldn't win. So I kind of joined a gang for parent figure protection, and to be liked. I had low self-esteem growing up, very low self-esteem. So that was like pretty much my teenager years, but I still had some solid development as an entrepreneur throughout my teenager years. I still wanted to be successful. I said, this can't be the end of the world. This just can't be it.
Yeah. So you did you graduate high school?
Oh, I did. I graduated high school in '95. I graduated. There was only 36 of us. I was the very last person to walk across the stage.
Wow.
So
really?
that was a little strange. So yeah, I graduated high school. And the whole time I was in high school, I had a job, self-taught how to turn engineer drawings into CAD to program back then what was CNC lathes and Bridgeports. So I worked at a machine shop, and I programmed computers while I was in high school, and made money so I could buy clothes and do things. Even though I was a gang member and all this crazy crap, I still did it. I was determined somehow, some way. So yeah, I graduated high school, and that's when life really changed really fast. Became an adult really quick. So.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this chick right here, but looks like you're in a picture there. How weird is that?
That's me about 55 pounds heavier right there.
Wow. So what happened when you got out of high school? Did you go to college?
Oh, this gets crazy. I became a father.
What?
Right out of high school. Right out of high school. Actually, truth be told, I'm a grandpa. Right now, I'm a grandpa. I got a 3-year-old grandson.
Oh my gosh, dude.
A 23-year-old daughter. Yeah, right out of high school. My then wife. Well, she wasn't my wife, but she got pregnant, and then I joined the military. For 6 years.
Wow.
That was an experience. That's a whole nother show. That was
what branch did you join?
I was in the Navy.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your service.
I appreciate it. So that's 6 years. I got married. In the military, you kind of have to be married to live together.
Yeah.
They don't play the boyfriend girlfriend stuff. So I got married.
Yeah.
Had my daughter. Lots of craziness. Ups and downs. Deployments. We were both young, my ex-wife and I. That was strange. And then raising my daughter, I had no clue with how to raise a kid. And then I did my time, and I ended up getting divorced, and then ended up getting custody of my daughter. And then my mom helped me through a huge part of it. I will say that divorces are not fun, and child custody is not fun. And raising a child is probably the hardest thing you'll ever do in life.
Yep.
There's no book. So I did that, and I ended up raising my daughter, and that was that was harder than any kind of real estate transaction or any business I built. So I did that. So I got out of the military, and I became an entrepreneur, and I finished college. I went through college when I was in the military, and I finished college and have a degree in business development. So that was my story.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where were you stationed in the Navy?
I was in Norfolk, Virginia, at the Amphib base. That's where all the SEALs and CVs and all the people that do the bad things to protect the world are stationed. That's where I was stationed.
That's where my brother was. He lived in Newport News.
Yeah, I know that. Shipyard. I put some security details there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were stationed in Norfolk, and then you did 6 years in the Navy. So now you're what, 24, 25?
18, 24, 25. Yeah. I got out a little right before my 6th term. Yeah. I was 24. Yeah.
Okay. And what did you do? Stay in Norfolk, or did you get the heck out of there?
Well, I had my daughter, so I had to get home. My mom could only do so much, and the situation with my daughter's mom was not an easy one. And by all means, I respect her, because at the end of the day, neither one of us had a clue what we were doing. So I could, raising a child is hard. So I came home to raise my daughter, and at that time, I never really had a childhood. I grew up in the ghetto. I didn't have anything to do, and life was just crazy. And everybody around me always told me I couldn't do things. You're never gonna do this. They'll just shut up and sit down and do this and do that. So when I got out the military, I came home. I was offered jobs with the FBI and all kinds of things after, but I came home and
to Detroit.
Yeah, to Detroit.
Yeah,
we were to Detroit, and I didn't have a job and anything. I moved into my mom's basement. Back to my mom's basement, and I just was like, man, I'm back at square one, and now I got a kid to take care of.
So you and your wife and your daughter moved to your mom?
No. I got divorced when I was in the military.
Oh,
I got joint. Me and my wife, we had joint legal and I had full custody, but I had my daughter. So me and my daughter, we moved into my mom's house for a while.
Wow. So going from the freedom of being but there's not a lot of freedom in the military. So
no, I tell you when you're going to be and where you're going to be and what you're going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you've got some crazy deployment stories and.
Yeah, a lot of crazy, a lot of non-disclosure stuff, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, right.
It was. You know what? At the end of the day, I'm very, very, very grateful and thankful that I joined and I served. The people tell me thank you. I don't really know how to take that compliment or that thank you, but at the end of the day, I think that it's an imperative piece to my growth and to my development, and it was important. Yeah.
So once you got to the basement, what did you do? I mean, here you are fresh out of the. I remember my brother. He did 4 years and then another 6 or something. So he did 10 years total in the Navy. But I remember I think he took a 6 months and tried to reintegrate into civilian life and hated it, went back to the Navy and realized he hated that more. So
that was the same protocol. I didn't go back though. I ended up getting
what'd you do to make money? Where'd you start? Tammy says tell the story of how you made money from the basement. So what did you do to make money living in your mom's basement?
We're gonna back up. We have to. This is when hold on, we got to back up to when I was 15 and 16. So Tammy wants to talk about how I made money from my mom's basement.
Yeah.
So my grandmother had passed away, and my real father, God bless his soul, he's gone now, but he was still an alcoholic, and he took the money that my grandmother gave us that was supposed to be for me and my brother, and took it for himself, but he bought us a computer. So at that time, this is back in the days of AOL and dial-up, all that crazy noise when you would call. So anyways, I started what was called a bulletin board service in my mom's basement and hooked the phone line up to it. And basically, people would dial into the house and hook up to the computer and the bulletin board service, and they would download pictures. And I had bought this CD off of a big computer book for $20. And people were paying me $20 a month to call in and download a picture that would take 30 minutes. Now, the kicker to the story is you can only imagine what kind of pictures they were downloading. So, and I was 16 years old running an adult bulletin board service out of my mom's basement, and I was getting checks for $20 a month sent to my house. So that was the story that Tammy's talking about. This is way before what you can visualize the internet. None of what you and I are doing would not happen. So that's what she's talking about this story. So I was an entrepreneur then. And then my mom came downstairs one day and was like, I mean, what could she say? I mean, I was like, we were poor, and my mom, I was, it's kind of, I kind of just did what I wanted because nobody was helping me through life. So that was that story. So fast forward back to my mom's basement again.
Well, wait, how many checks for $20 a month were you getting?
I was probably getting around 30 to 50.
Wow.
Yeah, 30 to 50.
So,
but you know, being that gang member got me in trouble. My mom ended up booting me out the house, and I kind of ended up moving in with a friend and roller coaster. I didn't, and I probably had that for about a year and a half.
wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
So then what? You pivoted into something else?
Oh, that was when I was a child, and then I just went to the machine shop and did the drawings. And I learned how to use CAD. That was when CAD first came out. I'm very smart. Like if you show me something one time, just show me in writing, and then sit by me for 10 minutes. Let me do it without. I don't really like a lot of people talking to me. Like when I'm doing it, let me do it. Let me make a mistake. I'll ask you what I made the mistake in. It doesn't take me too long to figure things out. I'm pretty smart.
So you said I interrupted you. You said back to my mom's basement.
Oh, back to my mom's basement again out of high school. So you could probably say I had a little bit of PTSD. I just didn't know how to reintegrate back to life. And I will say that as a veteran, that is a horrible, horrific thing that people go through. As veterans go through, it's just the sad part. I mean, I hear it gets better, but when you're in those shoes, it isn't. So for the first 6 months, I went and got a job at a steel plant, and I hated it. It was 120 degrees around this pouring liquid aluminum. I hated it. I worked midnights. It was just the worst thing ever. And it was just that, when being stuck in my mom's basement and being a single father, depression was crazy. So I did that for, I don't know, a couple months, and I just got fed up. I said, man, I'm done. And I started getting to the stage, like quitting stuff. And I'm like, I'm done. And I don't know what happened between, and then I got I'll tell you the craziest job I got. And it became like, it became the catalyst for my whole life, as I became a business development manager and operator and / stunt rider for a motorcycle stunt group. So my mom's like, how are you going to make money doing this? And I said, I don't know. And mind you, this is not like what you go to the typical dirt bike show and watch. This is people riding crotch. This was back then. This was people riding those motorcycles and crotch rockets on the freeways doing 100-mile-an-hour wheelies.
Wow.
So I got a job basically managing this group. And then again, I was told, you can't be a stunt rider, Daryl. You have to be born with this. And so I managed that. And I did that for about 4 years. So I managed this group of crazy kids.
Wow.
Crazy.
Did you make money at it?
Yeah, man. You know, mind you, in the military, I made 30 grand a year. I mean, if I would have had one more child, I would have got welfare when I was in the military. That's how poor I was in the military.
Yeah.
And then I went from that to working at the steel plant to managing the stunt group, and I made, I don't know, close to 100 grand a year. Yeah.
How do you make money managing a motorcycle gang?
I booked shows. I booked shows and events everywhere. I just booked them. Like, so we weren't on the freeway, so we booked the venues and things, and basically picked up sponsorships and
gotcha.
Did all that and got them shows booked, and we did all that. And then, you know, God has a crazy, I don't know if people believe in God, but I definitely believe in God. He's a crazy story. So my mom's like, man, you're going to end up getting killed. You think that this is crazy. And those bikes, man, I broke my ankle. I broke my wrist because I wanted to be cool. And I just managed the group. So I started riding. And so that led to the next part of my life. I was doing a show, and my sponsors had just given me a brand new bike. It was amazing, all custom. And I was going to destroy it anyways, by the way. It was going to get destroyed because these bikes they don't look nice. And I was at a show, brand new bike out. We wheeled it around, showed it off, and the gas line that went from the gas tank to the engine snapped and broke. It sprayed fuel everywhere, covered the bike, covered me, and the bike exploded while I was on it. Caught up fire. I had burns, radiator exploded.
Jeez.
And I was at this event, and there was this guy there who was a prodigy child, 15 years old, graduated high school, was in charge of marketing. Kid loved me. And he ran this whole company that we were at. He said, you got to come here and work. You got to come here and work. They gave me a job. And little did I know that was going to be the end to my whole sales career. That was my end. So I went there and did that for a while. So I went from being a gang member, selling dirty pictures, to in the military, doing crazy stuff for the government, and then working in the steel plant, to riding motorcycles, now into business, getting into business.
Wow. Tammy says, I called Baloney once until I saw the photo with people lined up around the mall for his autograph.
Yeah, she like Tammy likes to call me out. Like, you know, I don't have a lot of pictures of my history. So I don't have a lot of pictures of anything. I'm very simple. You could give me a backpack and I'll go anywhere in life. And just give me my MacBook and my iPhone and I'm good. So I don't have a lot of pictures. It's all up in here, but I do have some. I signed. It wasn't the mall. It was actually a big arena, and it was wrapped all the way around the arena. It's where the Detroit Pistons used to play. And I was signing autographs. It was like I'm like, who the hell am I?
Wow, that's pretty cool, dude. So you then you got out of that and into what? Because I know eventually you end up getting into real estate, which is from what I understand, that's where you really found.
Well, I'll tell you that the little fast story for this big part is that basically I got into what's called F&I sales or finance sales and closing, and that's what dealerships use. Your car dealerships, power sports. And basically, at the end of the day, I became this phenomenal closer. Like, I was in the top 1%. My cost per copy was through the roof. Everybody wanted to hire me because I was me. I could. They would replace their sales manager and finance manager and put me in one position. And so I ended up doing that for a while, and I just accelerated it. At the end of the day, it's all people skills. But the problem became, well, then I got a job at another corporate company. We'll leave their name out of here because they're ginormous. And I don't know what my contract says from years ago. Yeah. But my job was basically to teach development for a corporation. And I would travel around and anybody who was licensed by this corporation, I would teach them how to make sales. The downside is that I'm sure there are ethical dealerships, but what happened was that when you're doing this, when you teach sales, somebody's always going to take it and use it for bad. And basically people were taking skill sets I was teaching them and ripping clients off. And after a while, it hardened on my heart. And then that corporate company then directed me to take dealer licensing agreements away from dealers because of 2008 and the crash. And I couldn't do it anymore. I had served in the military. I grew up poor, and now you're a dealer. A corporation is telling me to close down businesses where 300 people are losing their job as soon as I walk in. Wow. I got out. I said, I'm done. I quit. I resigned. And I was good at sales, but it wasn't good sales, right? So I wasn't doing wrong, but the skills I was teaching people were used for the wrong. And there was just the problem is greed. You show people how they can make a paycheck for 30 grand a month. they're gonna exploit it. So I said, man, I got to do something and different. And then I got into real estate in 2008, and the market crashed. In the crash, I got into real estate. I didn't know any better. In 08, I jumped in real estate in 08.
Wow.
Way better. I saw a guy on Facebook like you, somebody who was just a good person.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to work for that guy. And I got it.
And it was as a realtor?
Yeah, I started as a realtor.
Yeah.
I walked in there and I had like a portfolio, like just full of a book.
Yeah.
So like, hey, I'm a badass. I'm number one. I can do anything in sales. And he took my resume and threw it back at me. My pride was hurt. I was like, he's like, go take this real estate exam and then call me when you pass. And I did. And when I called him, it was within 2 weeks. And he just was like blown away. He said, nobody does this. Like, he's like,
wow.
When do I start? He's like, come to work tomorrow. And when I came to work the next day, I thought I was going to get this full hands-on training. There's your desk, Daryl. There's a phone. Here's a stack of leads. Go to work. I didn't know anything. Let me tell you, that real estate exam didn't teach me nothing. It taught me what not to do. And I was already scared. Like what not to do, right?
Right.
And I just I was like, nobody would. And then I just 2008, I got into real estate, and I was a realtor, real estate agent, worked for a broker. He wasn't a very nice broker, but we'll leave it at that.
and was this in Detroit?
Yeah, it was in Detroit. In Detroit, we had somewhere like at any given time, we were holding 2,000 to 2,500 listings at any given time.
Wow.
It was insane. It was like, I don't know if anybody's ever seen that movie, The Boiler Room, with Ben Affleck and all them, but the phone was just like, it was insanity. I'd never seen, it was just like, if there wasn't chaos going on, something was wrong. It was like, I was in Detroit, the crash of the market, 2008, insane. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what a short sale was. I didn't know what a foreclosure was. I just knew the phones rang and people were running around like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So where did things go for you from there?
In my first year, I sold 75 homes. My first year on my own. And I had a good friend. His name was Neil. And he was actually friends with the owner. The owner told me I was high maintenance. I asked too many damn questions.
Yeah.
Well, after the military, if you don't ask any questions, you're gonna die. So I'm like,
is 75 home? Is that a lot? I don't know.
In Michigan, that's a lot. I mean, the average real estate agent, I think in America, does somewhere between 6 and 12. In Michigan, we would say a good agent would do around 30. A top producer would do 50 plus. Average price point in Michigan is around 200K, 180, 200K. So 75 homes my first year, and the short sales were just through the roof. Foreclosures were through the roof. What was crazy, side note, is that anybody who bought a home, like I seen people doing short sales and all this crazy stuff. The market wasn't really that bad that long. It was only bad for 2 years. And a lot of people genuinely screwed up their credit and were pitched a bunch of BS by companies from mortgage mods and all this stuff. And in 2 years, the market was back to at or higher than what it was pre the crash. So 75 my homes my first year, and I was there for 18 months. 18 months is going to be a key factor, and
wow,
18 months, and then the broker started doing some wrong stuff, and so we got we didn't get shut down, but I saw the writing on the wall, and then I started moving. I moved through 2 additional brokers. I worked for a warehouse line mainstream broker for about 3 years, and with some in betweens on my own. And then that was my time as a real estate agent. And then I worked for a broker that was pretty badass. He taught me. I'll give him props. Jeff Glover. He was the learning curve that taught me everything I needed to know. And then I worked for him for 18 months. And then it was time to go from the nest and set out and do my own thing. And that's when I took off and did my own thing.
So you became a broker, or?
Yeah, and started. Well, I fortunately had the luxury of having a mentor who owned a brokerage and basically turned that brokerage over to me.
Wow.
That's when it became, he said, you're going to do big things. He was paranoid at me. He was like, you're crazy, you're reckless. He was like, you just do things and then deal with the consequences later. So I did that. And then I started with 4 agents. 4 agents, and we did 68 million. with 4 agents, which is good. You know, most agents strive to get to 100 million, or most teams strive to get to 100 million. And we did 68 million with 4 agents my first year.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Is that and so you sold $68 million worth of real estate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. In Detroit.
In Detroit.
In like 2010 or
yeah, well, from that would be, we're 2020 now, so that was 2015. 2015.
Wow.
On my own. Wow. Now my best year on my own was 17 million on my own, and that was when I worked for Jeff. 16.8 million is what I did on my own. Wow. And when I hit that threshold, I have a problem. Whenever I accomplish something, I get bored of it. Yeah. So then I'm going to build a team.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that's what I did. So 68 million with 4 people. That's badass.
That's unbelievable. Wow. Yeah. So you what's happened from there? What I mean, it sounds like you've just continued to grow.
You know, something's wrong in my head. You know, Elon Musk is one of my mentors, and
I love Elon.
Oh man, I can't get enough of him. You know, it's
guy's incredible.
Somebody said to ask Elon what it's like to be in his head, and he said you wouldn't want to be in it.
Yeah.
That's what my brain is like. It never stops. Like, I have 3 laptops going around me all the time. I'm doing things, and my brain was always engaged. So, thanks to my training, I wanted to find a condition. You know, a condition is something that you can't change. It's going to happen, and I wanted to find a way to get listing leads. So I, one day on Memorial Day, I was sitting outside of a restaurant with my ex-girlfriend, and I started looking for ways to get listing leads. Well, I wasn't going to stand outside of a hospital waiting for people to come out with a newborn so they could buy a new home, and I wasn't going to deal with probate because there's just too many people involved in the transaction, and death is sad. I mean, it's just horrible.
Yeah.
And I've seen too much of that in my life. And then so I figured, let's do divorces. You get one person who's getting divorced, you have a home to sell, and you have 2 people buying. So I looked up divorcerealestate.com, and the domain was available. And it was for $7,500 on GoDaddy. And then I bought it. I bought it on my Amex. And mind you, I didn't have that kind of money at that time, like where I could just do something like that. Or maybe I did. I just didn't have the ideology like I could just do what I wanted. I was very cautious with my money.
Yeah.
I bought it. And then I went and bought the phone number 855 breakup for another $4 or $5 grand. And mind you, that was in 2016, 17.
Yeah.
And you know what? I didn't do a damn thing with it. I spent all the money and did nothing with it.
Oh, jeez.
I had the luxury of meeting somebody who was very famous in 18. And he doesn't have a filter. And he started dropping some curse words on me, like, what the F are you doing?
Yeah.
And then I started building it. I'm a procrastinator. I'm not going to BS you. I'm a procrastinator, man. Yeah. So I procrastinated, and then fast forward in the last year, we really built the company out, and now we generate listing leads for real estate agents across the United States, and we give them to real estate agents for a referral fee, so they get 3 transactions. We collect a referral fee of 20%, and
wow.
I still have my main brokerage back in Michigan, and I'm building teams all over the United States and teaching everybody all the technology and things that that I knew how to do. I'm really tech savvy. I'm nerdy, but there were some demons along the way, Ken. Some major demons for me. A lot has changed for me in the last year. A lot of things to accept in life that was hard, you know.
You mentioned earlier that your real father had passed away, you said?
Yeah, he died of COVID. Not COVID, sorry. He died of COPD. He
Wow.
died, and it wasn't until after he died that I understood why he was the way he was. When I never knew my grandparents, so
Wow.
when and everybody had came here from Russia, they were all immigrants. So
Wow.
when I met his parents at that time, when I told them that their son had died and they didn't care, I
Wow.
had to give my father forgiveness and let it ride. But like I said, my father was an alcoholic, which that led down the road to me. So
Wow.
it was a piece of the puzzle.
Wow.
So yeah, my father. Yeah.
What about your mom?
Oh, my mom is alive. She lives in a home I bought her, which God bless. I was blessed to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Her and my stepfather live together. My mom's a trooper. She's had MS for over 40 years.
Wow.
Man, so many times my mom's been in the hospital. I thought she was going to die, and she's kicked ass. My mom was a badass salesperson before she got MS.
Wow.
She sold appliances. So
Wow.
yeah. My mom, and then I have one blood brother, and I have a bunch of stepbrothers and stepsisters, which they're amazing kids. They're amazing.
Wow. So you're close to them.
In a sense, I would say this. I have a group called A Road to New Beginnings, and I like to help people a lot because a lot of people didn't help me. And I would say that I'm mentally out of the norm. Not like psycho, but I think I don't. I'm very distant from people. I like to talk and be around people, but things that happen made me different. So I kind of keep to myself. I'm very business focused, which is bad. I'm very blessed to have Tammy, who's very understanding of that too, because sometimes my whole life is business, 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 and so I am close to my family, but I it's very edited time, if that makes sense. My family was never really supportive of me, so I want to make sure they're taken care of, and I want to talk to and I hang out with them when I can, and I really support and appreciate what they do, but not everybody always understands what I'm doing, and maybe that's just something that's a flaw with me that maybe I do need more time to myself. But I will say this, Ken, and I think maybe you would understand is that I had a very bad drinking problem, and I would drink to get through life, and that consumed my life. And I wasn't always nice to people, right? I had a good heart, but when I would drink, things would change, and so and I think a lot of people took resentment from things I said, and after a while, they put me at arm's length. So I kind of stayed to myself and just did business. It was good because if I was making money, nobody gave a shit, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't drink?
No, I don't drink anymore. Crazy story is back in August, I actually proposed to Tammy in August, and that date, August 4th, was a life changer for everything. Actually, I had COVID, and I didn't know.
You had COVID?
Yeah, I've had COVID.
Wow.
I had COVID, and on August 4th, I proposed to Tammy, and I didn't feel good that day. Something was off, and I never, ever, ever get sick. And I proposed to Tammy. That night, we went to bed, and a fever started. I was sick. I had to get off the island. We're on an island in Michigan called Mackinac Island. And I proposed to Tammy. I caught COVID. I think I probably had pneumonia. I tested negative, and I never went back and retested it. But I was coughing up blood and fevers and chills and all that stuff. So I started losing weight. Mind you, this is 55 pounds lighter now. And so that after COVID, I said, you know what? I'm done drinking. I just looked around at people, and I'm like, man, I have so much more to offer. And I wanted to lose weight. I think that's how it first started, right? Because I could never accept the fact, and you would never hear me say I was an alcoholic, and I still have a hard time saying if I was or wasn't.
Yeah.
So I went on 75 hard. I wanted to lose weight, and part of 75 hard was no drinking. And then I got this idea. that I wanted to sell divorce real estate to a corporation. And I still may, who knows? And I said, when I sell that company for $100 million, that's the next time I'll drink. So I just quit drinking and completely cold turkeyed, and things got better. Went to coaching, signed up for coaching with a phenomenal program, and lost 55 pounds, stopped drinking, and my employees, I'm like, who the hell is this Daryl? Who's this guy? And business went through the roof too. And I'm like, wow, this is
like, it's amazing how things get better when you it's not, you know, you may not be an alcoholic. I am for sure an alcoholic. I have 18 years of sobriety. Wow. But you know, but I still take it one day at a time. I literally just found out last night I found out a good friend of mine in Minnesota that struggled for years, died. Just the other day he passed away, and it was from you know, his addiction problems. So you know, it reminded me that it's real, and it really kills people. And you know, you've got a lot to live for. And you know, I know you have a place in Miami, and you're in California and Detroit, and you know, you're all over the place, but you got a lot popping, man. You got a lot of good stuff happening, and good for you, by the way, for doing 75 hard. My wife and I did 75 hard. Andy Frisella was on this show, and he challenged me at the end of the show to do 75 hard, and so I did. He's the one he created 75 hard, and it is no joke. It is
not for the weak. It definitely is not.
No, I have a private Facebook community. There's 200 or 300 people in that group that everybody came in to do 75 hard, and about 3% actually completed it. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy, but it's worth it. At the end, you're like, holy crap, I can't believe I just did this. It's amazing.
We go into the bathroom every 10 minutes.
I know, man. I still drink about a gallon of water a day, man. And it's and when you stop drinking that much water, you can feel the difference. I've done it.
Yeah.
You know, but so let me ask you a question. So I know that you're, I've seen the ring that Tammy got from you.
Yeah.
That you know, that didn't look like a cheapo ring. I know that you're doing well. You know, what do you think? And again, I ask everybody this question. The number one answer to this is fear. And but what do you think holds people back from success and financial success, but also real joy and freedom in life?
I don't think it's fear. I mean, part of it me does. I think that's fear. I think that's a variable. The truth told, people are just lazy. People are just absolutely lazy. They genuinely think that if they dream it, that it's going to come true, right?
Charles Coachman just
75 lazy boy. You know, when I'm about 80 years old, I'll join you, Charles. I'll join you then. When I'm about 80 years old, I think people are just flat out lazy. I think that you know, I was lucky that that my father worked 18 hours a day, and he worked hard. People now have this ideology that you don't have to do anything and something's going to fall in your lap. I just think people are lazy, and they don't want to grow their minds, right? The problem with social media is social media has been presented that it's facts, right? And people just genuinely go on there and write nonsense on there, and then somebody reads it, and then somebody else reads it. Now it's facts. It's got to be the Bible. It's got to be a professor's had a world renowned professors had to written this, and it's such BS. And people think they're graduates and they have degrees and they go on social media and they write this stuff, and then they're just lazy. And people believe that because they had a dream or because they said something, it's going to happen. Oh my God, I see people that are out spending money on credit cards at the bars, drinking. And I read a post that was so true. I read it last night from a friend of mine. People are out buying bottles and drinking and acting like they're rock stars, and they don't have a pot to piss in. And they're not, and they're out at night. At nighttime, I'm up working. Tammy's telling me, get off the damn laptop. People are lazy, Ken. They're just lazy. And a lot of the thing is they've been told, you know, if you don't want to do that, don't do it. You don't have to.
I do agree that there is a laziness. I do think, however, and I've said this before, like we can debate this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you're right. People have a laziness, but there's something. I don't think people in general are inherently lazy. I think that they have given up on their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a dream. You know, you've got this national company where you have real estate agents working for you all over the nation. You're teaching real estate agents. You know, Charles Coachman, by the way, is a real estate agent in the Silicon Valley area. And Charles said he did 3 divorce real estate deals one year and needed counseling after that.
That's about normal.
Yeah, but you know, you've got all these things really going for you. But I think that people, if you give somebody something to hope for, to dream for, right?
You're saying lack of dreams. Like somebody's destroyed the idea that people should be dreamers.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I would agree with you totally.
Think about when you went through the divorce with your ex, and you know, for a little bit you were probably like, women are crazy, I want nothing to do with it, right? And until you're like, finally you let that go, and now look, you have Tammy in your life, and you guys have a good thing going. So, you know, I agree with you though. I think that people allow that lack of dreaming to set in, and it becomes laziness.
Yeah, I think somebody's destroyed them or somebody's walked up. That's why no matter what's going on around me, even if I don't agree with something, I genuinely try not to be negative to anybody around me, because you never know what word is going to change somebody. And people, I would believe, I think that you know what, I think, Ken, you put it all together, but you brought it all the perception is that people's dreams were destroyed because somebody did it, and then people became lazy. And now they're just doing what they got to do to make it through life. And now they're being judged again. They were judged in the beginning. Now they're being judged that they're lazy. And I would agree with you on that people, I used to work in a nonprofit, and this all starts back at home. And I think a lot of the problems start with parents not pushing their kids to be dreamers. Yep. And they're not. They got so much going on in their own life that they forgot to take some time for their kids.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, man. So if somebody called you right now and said, "Man, I've tried everything. My car was repossessed last week. My electric's being shut off tomorrow. I'm desperate. I can't figure out." I mean, dude, right now, you know, with this craziness that's happened in 2020, suicide is at an all-time high. And you know, I think that people are desperate. They don't know what way to turn. So if somebody called you and said, "I'm at the end of my rope, I don't know what else to do, I've tried everything," what advice would you give them in that moment to help them get over the hump?
You know, it's crazy because I had this young kid who was sitting outside my office on Thanksgiving on a bench. So, I mean, he had given up on his dreams. He didn't have anything, no family or nothing. You know, for me, I always go back to what was your, I asked my employees this the other day, what was your dream as a child, right? And where did that dream get lost, right? And back then as a kid, we know it didn't matter if somebody told us no, we were going to do it. And if you're going to lose everything, right, that's probably and I know this sounds bad, but it's probably the best thing, right? Lose it all, let it go, right? Because you know what, everything that you build going back up is going to be a strong foundation. Somewhere along the lines, the foundation was rocky, and you need to tear down to that point where you're going to build strong. So I would say, you know what, let it go, right? Because the more people try to save it, right, the damage is done. Let it crumble. Somebody out there believes in you. We have to stop saying poor me, right? It's gonna happen. It's happened to the best of us. It's happened to me. I've lost everything a couple times in my life.
Yep.
And find somebody, right? There's a reason why teams are important. There's a reason why coaching is important. There's a reason why school is important. And don't be a burden on them. If you go to somebody for help and ask them for help, find somebody who, one, believes in you, not your dream, you. And you're going to lose everything. You're going to become homeless. That's okay. You're still going to wake up tomorrow morning, right?
Yep.
It's all about what you do that day. I would find somebody. If somebody came to me and said, Daryl, you know what, I need business development skills, I need coaching. Charles, I am with EXP. I don't know them guys. I'm sorry.
Glenn Bill's a good buddy of mine. He's a good dude.
You guys have to introduce me for sure.
Yeah.
I genuinely would help somebody. So there's people around you that they don't want you to be a burden on them, but people will help you. I have a very good friend of mine here. He almost lost everything and he had to move into a sister's basement. And now he's doing around $2 million a year in money. So there will be people, but let it go. But don't be a burden, a crutch, and cry, woe me. Go back to when you were a child and find something that, what was your dreams? What are your aspirations? And this is the easiest thing in the world. What problem do you want to fix in the world? What problem do you want to fix? And what are you good at fixing?
Right.
Don't be a martyr. I can't stand people, woe is me. I can't deal with it, you know?
I know. Well, you know what, man? I grew up in a very similar environment as you, and I wasn't in Detroit. I was in a small town in Ohio, but you know, we thought we had a gang when I was like 14 or 15.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't a gang, but you know, so I can relate to a lot of your story. And I tell people all the time, look, if you're going through a hard time, if you're feeling down, depressed, you're feeling like you're not going to make it, you're feeling like a victim, like my dear friend Jennifer says here, victims versus victims. You know, if you're feeling that way, the best way to get out of it is what you just said, and that is go help somebody else.
Yes.
You go help somebody else, man. You cannot focus on your problems when you're focused on helping somebody else with theirs.
That is the God's honest truth. Help somebody who has problems, right? You'll probably get some insight into what's really going on with your own personal problems.
It's true, man. It's true. Yeah. So Daryl, what's next for you, man? You've got this this team of real estate people. You did $68 million your first year as a team, which is incredible. Like, what's next, man? It sounds like you got a lot of great things happening. You're getting married. When's the date?
No, everybody asked that. That's a good question. Tammy's probably on here.
Come on, man.
You know what? I would imagine soon, probably in the next year or two. You know, I haven't always made the right financial decisions, and through business development. So right now I'm restructuring businesses and getting things aligned so we can make sure that we have everything set up the right way going in this, because any dumb decisions that I've made, I don't want to impact Tammy or us. in life. So I'm doing a business one over, making sure everything is good. I would probably say the next year or two. She's a good woman. I'm not, She does drive me crazy at times. I'm sure I drive her nuts. But you know, you know what? I'll leave it at this: is that I wouldn't even go an hour away to go on a date with another girl, and I would get dressed and call the girl and be like, you know, I just, you know, I'm not feeling it today. Can we reschedule? And then I just ignore her. And then I let alone I jumped on a plane and flew 2,800 miles across the United States to California. So about 2 years. She's a good woman, a very good woman. She adores me, which is amazing. Like, I don't need somebody to push me. I need somebody that like stands by me and says, "Hey, you know what? That's great. It supports me. Let's go on vacation. Let's go have some fun. Let's go do something." So she's a good woman. So about 2 years, and what's next? Well, I just became homeless in Michigan. I got yelled at by the leasing lady at my office. She thought I was sleeping inside the office.
Oh my God.
So I came. So what's next? I'm going to. Actually, I'm not a coach, right? I don't know what a coach is, but I want to give everything away that I know how to do for free. I want to help others. I do belong to EXP, so I don't really practice real estate, but I do want to grow our teams and make people's dreams come true that are in real estate that are just lost and nobody's helping them. So I'm gonna travel the United States, give everybody all my technology, everything I have for free. I'm gonna work on my company, A Road to New Beginnings, help people who have been down similar roads like me. And I'm going to continue to grow divorce real estate. And I was wanting to sell it, but who knows? Who knows what's going to happen now? And I'm on the road to a few other projects. I have a friend, Jeff. He may be watching this. He's a great business mentor, and I'm in the process of trying to acquire 2 businesses that I think are important to me. But I'm going to focus on me and Tammy. I'm going to focus on business development for elegant homes across the United States, and I'm going to help realtors get leads with divorce real estate. And I'm just going to be a good human being and be a good grandpa. You know,
so I can't even believe you're a grandpa. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And your daughter lives where in Detroit?
They live back in Michigan. They all live back in Michigan. They live back. She's grew up there. Funny part is she always wanted to live in California, and here I am out here for the next 3 or 4 months. And she wanted to swim with sharks, and that was her dream. So maybe one day we'll make that happen for her.
She wants to swim with sharks.
That's what she told me when she was like 13 years old.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah. So you know that's like it. You know, I just want to help people. You know, Tammy and I are in the midst of we've been buying a lot of homes and doing flips together. Back in Michigan, we're gonna pick up some franchises out here in California, some healthy food franchises here in Arizona. But we're just business. We're just staying busy. And if I'm not doing something new, it's killing me.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. That's awesome. Facebook user says, "OMG, you're so amazing." Who's Facebook user? I don't even know who that is.
You know what? You got to give it to Facebook. They've allowed the world to come together like no other, and it's just a lot. You know what? I somebody wrote something on I'd seen on the screen that said something about depression. Depression is real. Man, I know we don't have much time left, but I will say that there was times that I laid on the couch. And mind you, I'm a huge gun advocate, and I had a safe full of guns.
Yeah.
And a lot of guns. And the drinking didn't help. And there was times where I would lay on the couch and I would think bad things. And depression is real. And if anybody took anything away from this this interview, it would be if you have problems, get out and help somebody. It will help you, and people will want to listen to you. And you'll be surprised how many doors open when you do good. One person, and well, Tammy opened the door for me, and then that's the God's honest truth. Tammy changed my life, and then or else I'd be doing the same dumb crap I've been always doing. And then one person who shall remain nameless, he was kind of an asshole to me for the last 6 years, but he wanted me to better my life. And after that, he opened the door to people like, I mean, yeah, they're validated people and they're very famous and they're very successful and very wealthy, but the doors opened up tenfold. And it was just because I genuinely went out and helped people out of the kindness of my heart. And people are going through it, right? But if somebody comes to you and you're depressed, don't be like, woe is me. You know, let's move on. Like, you got your time, you've sulked. Let's move forward. Let's do something good.
Dude, that's awesome. That is so awesome. So where can people follow you?
Daryl Wizinsky. You can follow me at Elegant Homes Realty, Divorce Real Estate, Instagram, LinkedIn. Basically anything that one of my companies is attached to. Divorce Real Estate, Elegant Homes Realty.
You're on Facebook, obviously. You're on
Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn,
everywhere. Yeah.
I do have a book coming out.
Do you?
I have 2 books by chance. I have a book called Divorce Real Estate, A Road to New Beginnings.
Wow.
And, I have a book about my personal life and deep dives into the nightmares of growing up homeless as a gang member, the deep nightmares of military and things about that. And just like, so people could see that there's opportunity. And
when's your book coming out?
The first book will be out at the end of January. It got kind of delayed because of me selling my home, but I got the outline and I've started on it. And I got a great editor and a great staff on it. So the first book is a divorce real estate, A Road to New Beginnings, and that comes out at the end of January. And I'll be giving away 100 free copies on Amazon the first month it comes out. So thank you, Edna.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, once you have your book, I'll do another interview, and I can actually interview you on Amazon directly.
Yeah.
So I'm
that interview would be absolutely crazy because there's that opens more doors, but it'll be crazy. Ken, you know, I really do appreciate you. You know, and I know you do this because you love this, but this actually opens the doors for a lot of people, and you're doing a great thing. You really are. I thank you.
No, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. I love doing this, man. Love it. It's one of my favorite things. So thank you. I appreciate you coming on and, man, sharing your heart and being so open and honest and real. That's what people need, man. They need real, like, you know, I've been through the hard times and Tammy told you Ken is the new hope.
She loves you, dude.
She's awesome.
You know, I didn't know that so many people knew her, and then I was at Mozambique and we met. She's like, and Ed Milet knew who she was, right? And I'm like, yeah, you're like kind of famous around here, but he introduced me to you, and like I said, I watched a ton of your interviews, and I was kind of like, you give people hope and dreams, and hopefully everybody takes advantage of those dreams because it's there for the taking. So many people are giving up.
Yeah.
Look at you. You look at the life you've made.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm very grateful, dude. Very grateful. Thank you, man. I appreciate you spending the time with me this morning and hanging out and sharing your experience, strength, and hope. And everybody needs to go over to Facebook and Instagram and follow Daryl right now. Just get off this interview because we're ending it anyway, and follow Daryl. Daryl, thank you so much. I'm going to end the live stream, but stay with me. Don't click off here. So I will see you later. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, Ken.
All righty. You guys have a great day.